Good morning. Welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. I'm just popping on really quickly this morning. I'm still having coffee and I still need a shower and all that stuff. But I was working on this. I was getting some stitching done on some pieces and I wanted to have to work on my fabric for our spines so that way I can get signature sewn in. And I know that in a previous video I had questioned whether or not to cut this because I'm like, well, that's, an inch of fabric that I can save. So I did it. I cut it. And now I'm ready to stabilize this edge, and that's really why I'm popping on right now, because I don't film sewing around the paper and stuff. That's not really something to share with you, but I do think that stabilizing this edge is something that I want to talk about because, for example, if I don't stabilize that fabric is going to be soft and it's going to want to move. It could get damaged when I'm putting things in and out of the pocket, and I don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is just use like a book page. Let's see what we have. That's the right size. See, that's not long enough. So I didn't think it that far ahead when I was coming on to tell you what I was thinking. Here, this will work. I'll just use a piece of this envelope. So what I will do is I'm going to glue just with enough glue to hold this, and I'm going to stitch just along the one edge. I'm not going to stitch the whole thing because I'm still on the fence about stitching around all the fabric, so that may change when I come back. But if you're going to use a fabric pocket, you do need to stabilize it. And I believe I've said that in previous videos, but I did want to come in and say that again. Make sure you're stabilizing if you're using a fabric pocket, because now when things go in and out of this pocket, then we've got that paper backing and we're not going to damage like we would if it were just the fabric. Okay, so that's that point. I'll come back later when I'm kind of working on the fabric maybe and see what we want to do with that. I'm still trying to keep that eyelet with this because I'm going to use it for a pocket somewhere, but I don't know where yet. Okay, so I'm just going to cut I probably am going to sew around this. I am. I'm just going to hold it in the middle with a glue stick, but I have to glue both pieces of this together to make sure that's good and sturdy. This is just a manila envelope I had gotten from a friend, and I try to use the bits of it. I mean, you can see it's cut. I've already reused part of this envelope to mail something else out, but I'm just going to stabilize that and stitch around it, and then I want to work on my muslin pieces for the two inner spine pieces for our signature. So that's, I think, my next step. I'm pretty sure I didn't even say good morning and hello and welcome to my channel, by the way, so apologies. I'm just in the midst of my coffee and trying to work on this. I have a lot I need to get done today. This is Saturday, and we were gone all day yesterday. So here we are. I changed my mind and just used a piece of cardstock because I didn't want to wait on all the glue to dry. And I've stitched it, and it is very, very wonky, but I'm okay with that because I think by the time I put the ticking on here and whatever, or maybe I'll run some trim down this edge, we're not really going to notice it, and I think it's fine. But now my pocket is stable for whatever it is I decide to put in there. And like you can see where I cut that, and it didn't tear because that's where I snipped it, but that's okay because again, that blue ticking is going to come over the edge on these outer spines. Okay, so yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. Good morning. Like I said, it's a little crazy here this morning. I have a lot to do today, and I'm just trying to work on this while I'm having my coffee and get some ideas for it. And yeah, I've got to go down and clean out the refrigerator, and I've got to work on that dash mat today. Hopefully I can get that done. At least worked on it, but I did, oh look, I didn't stitch around that piece. That's okay, that's fine. I don't have to stitch around every single piece. Though I could stitch around this and that would tighten that pocket up a little bit. Oh, but I made it gusseted on purpose. So do I want to do that? If I do that, it's gonna make that pocket tight. So no, I'm just not gonna stitch on that one. It's fine. Okay, I totally lost my train of thought. That's okay. This welcome to my brain today. Anyway, we were gone all day yesterday, so I'm really tired this morning, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go up and work for a little bit, try to film a little bit. I wanted to get this sewn. I want to start getting the bases down, but I think what I'm going to do now is just set this aside. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am loving this so much, and look how full we're getting. Love it so much. I'm so glad I decided to do this for myself, and it's just fun because I can just play, and if I mess it up like I did the wonky pocket, oh well, it's fine. Okay, get my cutting mat down. Let's just get some scraps here. I don't need a lot because I'm just doing spine piece. Okay, this is Sunday morning, and I just want to share with you what I did to these strips. This is my third time trying to film this, so if I sound a little goofy, sorry, because I'm like, did I say that already or not? Or if you feel like the information is incomplete, please let me know. I took my just Amazon crackle stamp and stamped with my Timber Brown Stays On, and I just kind of stamped to give it some texture. Then I took my Distress Stain in Faded Jeans and I splatted it, and then I had like these perfect circles, you know, this is a circle, all over, and I was like, oh no. So then I came in and just sprayed these with water, and I ended up having to saturate them because I was trying to get those blue spots to disperse. So it didn't really give me quite the effect that I wanted, but that's okay because you're not really going to see a whole lot of these anyway once they're glued and we get the signatures sewn in. So what, excuse me, what we're going to do is glue this down with my PVA glue in these spines, and get my yucky gluey brush, and I do mean yucky, and look, it's so hard. I mean, this brush probably just needs to be put in the trash. I soaked it in water one day and it softened back up, but apparently it got hard again. I wonder if I put it through the dishwasher, what would happen? I mean, it can't really get any grosser than it is. But anyway, so I hope you're all doing well. I don't even remember if I said that in the intro to this video yesterday. And honestly, I didn't go back and listen to it. I definitely want that grungy effect at the top, like where all those threads and stuff are. So if I have to trim it, I'd rather trim it down here at the bottom, and not if, obviously, I need to trim it. I could have it hang out a little bit, and that's not such a big deal, but I'm gonna go ahead and just take off a little of that. And then that's gonna give me room to like fray it and get some of that effect at the bottom as well. And I don't really care about these frayed edges because like when we put our base on here, it's going to cover that. You're not going to see like that part of it, but where you are going to see it, I want that effect on there. So yeah. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Okay. I have something going on with my sinuses this morning, so apologies if I'm clearing my throat when I'm talking or abruptly end and be like, oh, I'll be right back, because like I said, I'm having some sinus issues this morning. Okay, so I have my spine pieces glued in, and I've pretty much taken everything out except for this piece. But I am feeling this and the difference of the structure that having these cards in that spine. I'm like, should I put a piece of card on here before I sew my signatures in? And I would just use scrap because that's going to be covered with the ticking when I do the yep, it's going to be covered with the ticking before we sew the signatures in. Oh my gosh, Jody, sorry you guys, I'm kind of a mess this morning, aren't I? I apologize. Okay, and then I was thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do for a closure on here, because we're actually going to need something here. So then I'm like, gosh, should I have done a hidden spine? Which I could still do. You just won't see that muslin fabric, but I kind of like how it's soft, but I like the boxy effect. But the way I'm doing this fabric is also not going to allow me to run something along the inside for like a piece of sari trim, you know, to run it under the fabric because I don't want to see that underneath. And if I use the little hingy locky thing, this is too big for that. That won't work. So I'm wondering what to do for a closure on this, because I do want a closure on this for sure. So but I think I'm at the stage where I need to put this front fabric on because I want to get all the bases on. Oh, that's good for the paper clip. I want to get all of the bases on and in, and so I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my PVA glue again, and I'm going to wrap that around. Yeah, because see the ticking, the closure would need to be in this spine. It's okay because what we'll do is maybe I'll run some trim or something down this spine or do something on this spine to allow for a tie closure on here. Or when I do a topper on here, maybe I can run something under the topper so that I'm not covering that spine. That's what we'll do. Okay, sorry, I was brainstorming that for a second. So now what I want to do is I'm just going to use my PVA glue again and take my paper clips off here so I don't glue my paper clips on. I'll move my spine pieces again. So I have a little pile over there. Hopefully I remember where everything goes. And I just used my finger instead of that paintbrush because honestly I just don't feel like cleaning the paintbrush today. But I'm just going to get a layer of glue on this and then get my cover fabric on. I'll come back and show you what that looks like. Then I'm going to work on gluing the bases down. And I'm questioning if I should sew my signatures in before I do that. So while I'm gluing this, I'll think about that and see if that's something that I want to do. Okay, so I have the fabric on, and I just wanted to share a couple of notes with you. I just used my finger for the glue. I mean, honestly, it just was the best way for me to make sure that I had an even, thin layer of glue because I really didn't want it seeping through my fabric. And by doing just a thin layer, I was able to get my fabric down. And I did use my bone folder and just kind of made sure I got it pushed, you know, kind of burnished it down. But everything looks, you know, good on the inside. I mean, good on the outside. I haven't done anything to the inside. I hope my whole day isn't like this. Oh my goodness. Okay, anyway. Oh, I love this fabric. It's making me so happy. All right. So I left a little bit of a reveal on this side. That's like 1/4 of an inch, and same on the back. I went ahead and left a little bit more of a reveal there because we are going to have our ticking fabric there. It's going to overlap, and honestly, I'm just hoarding this fabric. I mean, this little piece here I pulled off, and I'm like, ooh, that would make a cool pull on a tag or something. And it's got, you can see kind of like there's a number, but anyway, I don't know. So there's that. I think as far as the closure goes, I'm just going to wait until I either do a topper, see what kind of a topper I do. I don't want to cover this flower, so that leads me to believe that maybe I'll do something on the spine, or maybe I will just tie something and not attach it at all. So there is that. As far as sewing the signatures in, I think I am going to go ahead and do that because I feel like if I don't sew them in first, then I'm going to be fighting all of my flips and folds and stuff and trying to sew the signatures in. So I just think it's going to be easier to go ahead and put them in now versus later. So now that leads me to, let me set this aside so it can dry. So that leads me to the signatures themselves. And I have, what did I do? Like 3 pages per signature, I think is what I did. And so what I'm thinking is maybe I want to add another page. I mean, I know that as I use this and we work in it, it's going to grow. I know this about me. I know I make fat journals. So I know it's going to grow. So do I or don't I? That's the question that I have. I mean, I do want some more interactive pieces in here, maybe like a bag or something, some envelopes maybe, but I don't want it to get so fat by the time I put pockets and stuff in here or we work in here. But honestly, how many pages is this? Let me count the number of pages. So as it is right now, it's only 48 pages. Just, you know, this is page 1, 2, 3, just so you know how I count. So it's 48 pages. And I'm just thinking maybe that's not enough. So I think I will add one more coffee dyed page to it. And then maybe I'll put a bag. I have some glassine bags. Maybe I'll put a glassine bag in both. And then that will give me the bags to work with. And so let me get the bags out and get another piece of paper, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I added another sheet of paper in all 4 signatures, and then in one signature on each side, I have added a glassine bag. And then I think what I will do also is find an envelope, but we'll probably add the envelope after it's sewn in and just attach it to the outside so it'll flip, you know, out this way, I think. But I do want to make sure that's not going to be too big in here to have those in there with all of our other bits. And I think it's going to be fine. But I don't want to get it too much bigger because we have all of our other pieces that we're adding in here as well. And those are going to be workspaces to use also as we make tags or whatever over winter. I do challenges. Give me lots of room to work. I am going to do, I think I'm going to do a 5-hole on these. And you know what? I do have to put at least these flaps on. I have to glue at least these flaps on so that I can put the ticking on, so that way my stitching shows here, because I want my stitching to show. Because I think I'm going to add maybe some buttons or something. So I have to think about that before I start stitching all this in. Oh my goodness, I'm glad I thought of that before I did that, because yeah, we gotta have our ticking so it can show. Okay, so let me get my bits. What did I have for here? That could be a problem. Okay, so this one was for here, yeah. Oh, when I did the tape there, I didn't, and I stitched, I did not take the ticking into account. So, can I swap that? I cannot swap that. It's okay. Ooh, I could swap these two, and I think that would be okay. Oh, no, I can't. I cannot. I have a solution. I had to put everything back where it went to figure out what I was doing. It's not a solution, is it? This is not. Okay, so if I put this one here, then my ticking will come over this side, but it won't cover my tape. I have my piece here, but maybe if I put this on this side and this on this side, and I can still have this flap on this one. Do I like that? I don't. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to sacrifice some of my image. Well, shucky darns. Maybe when I put my ticking on there, I won't have to wrap it around as far, and I can push this over further to my edge, so maybe it won't cover. Okay, I was just brainstorming that. I apologize, but I had to work my way through it. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm gonna glue these down. I took a shower and I was just thinking about it. I want to go back around my edges with my ink before I glue these two down and just make sure that everything is good to go. And then I'll just paper clip this one to make sure my flap isn't flopping everywhere while I'm trying to stitch my signatures in. So I'll get these glued down, and then I was thinking about my signatures also and how I wanted to do them. And this is 1.25 inch spine, and I like to leave 1/4 inch on each side, so that's gonna leave me 1.25 inch, 3/4 of an inch. So from the center mark, I'll go over 3/8 of an inch from that spine. I'm probably going to make a template. I don't typically make a template, but because these, you know, are going to be like this, I definitely want to make sure that my stitching is super even. So anyway, I'll make a template and then I'll come back. Hopefully it'll make more sense. I want to glue this down because I need to glue my flap on the back before I glue my entire piece down. So, oh my gosh, I'm goofy. I just moved that one and I need it. I'll find it. Anyway, oh, it's right here. Duh. Oh my goodness. My whole day is apparently going to be like this, you guys. So, two trains of thought here on doing your flap. You can use, I was going to just use art glitter glue because I am trying to finish this bottle. But then, you know, you can use art glitter glue for your back. You can use your 3-in-1. You can use your PVA. You can use whatever kind of glue you want. But you just want to make sure that you burnish it really well and that it's going to hold, okay? I am going to make sure that this is centered. This particular piece is centered. I definitely want that centered. And then, yeah, so just get this glued down. And then, again, I want to ink everything again just to make sure I have that dark edging, that antiqued edging that I want on this. And then, yeah, we'll go from there and get these two bases down. I'll get the template made for stitching our signatures in, and then I'll come back, and we are really making some progress. And mentally I'm telling myself I don't have to decorate all of the pages of this journal for it to be ready to go on the trip, because that's part, oh my gosh, I thought I glued it upside down. That's part of the deal with this particular project, is so that I have, you know, a journal to work in while we're traveling. And obviously I'm going to be making other journals as well on the road, because I will take, you know, Dumbo and my projects and, you know, all that good fun stuff. And then, okay, so on this I do want to point out, hopefully you can see this and it makes sense. How can I, let me just, hopefully you'll see it. So here where I've glued, this is sticking out a little bit, right? But when I glue my base down, my base is what I want to make sure I've got that reveal around. And then even though this little piece is going to protrude out a little bit, that's not going to bother me. It will probably just line up with the edge, and then I'll still have the reveal of my packaging. Hopefully that makes sense. So anyway, just kind of think about things before you're gluing your bases down. Make sure that you're kind of centered where you want it to be. Your reveal is where you want it to be. And then this flap sticking out, it's not that big of a deal to me, in my opinion. I'm still thinking about putting a ruffle or something here. I don't know. Just to say, hey, there's something here. Do something with me. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, gluing, sewing, or gluing and making a template, and then I'll come back. Okay. Boy, doing those fractions sure did tax my brain. You'll see two different sets of marks on here, pencil and pen. When I did the pencil marks, I thought, gosh, that just doesn't look quite right. So I got a different ruler, and I got my black pen and just redid it. I mean, honestly, it took me 3 times to do it, but that's okay. I have it. It's fine. So what you want to do is, when you're making your template, you want to figure out like how far you want them to be apart. I mean, I was just trying to center them kind of in the middle there, and I think that looks good. That's kind of oversimplifying it, but that's the gist of how I do it. So now what I want to do is just, I marked it top so that I know when I do it on both sides, my holes are going to be the same. Okay. And I want to make sure that I have it in such a way that I'm centered from top to bottom. So I know my pages are 8.5 inches, and I believe I did my, yeah, my base is 9 inches. So I want to make sure that that's, you know, a 1/4 inch from the top, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip that so that I know that is not going to move when I start punching it, because I have to put my holes in here. And you know what I just did? I'm putting this on here without my ticking on the outside. So don't be a Jody and don't get ahead of yourself. Sorry, I'm shedding because I washed my hair and just combed it, so I have hair everywhere. Which I know is totally natural, but I don't know how I have any hair left. I lose so much hair. I swear I'm gonna be bald one of these days. But stress makes me lose my hair for sure. Okay, so I have these pieces, and this goes side to side, or this piece is big enough. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna do, this piece is big enough for it to go, my lines to go up and down. And I think I want my lines to go up and down. Even though, if I do it this way, you'll see my stitching more. So what do we want to do? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and fuss and try to make a decision while I'm filming, but I probably should just go up and down because it's supposed to go up and down, right? I love this edge with the selvage edge. I'm totally going to use that somewhere. Okay, so I'll get this figured out. I'm going to get my holes punched through here. I'll get my signatures sewn in, and then in the next video when we come back, I will have my bases down, my signatures sewn in, and then we'll see where we want to go from there. I did want to add some more color to some of these pages, but maybe we'll just do that as we're working in the journal itself. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to go from here, to be perfectly honest with you, but I want to get the base done and then see where that leaves me. I do want to note that my art glitter glue was driving me nuts trying to get these glued down because it's thick and not wanting to come out, so it really gave me a hard time. It was drying before I could ever get my pieces down. So I do want to make sure all of my corners are down really well, all of my edges are down really well before I put my ticking on. I did run my ink dauber just around the edge of the brown paper just to kind of, I don't know, just give it a little bit of color because I really like that look. So we'll do that for the whole thing as well. Well, probably I should have done that before I glued my fabric on, but that's okay. You know, it is what it is, and it's for me, so it's totally fine. I do kind of like it sideways, but is that gonna stretch? Yeah, I better do it upright. We'll see. I'll figure it out. But okay, I'll get it all sewn in, and then yeah, then I'll come back and I'll see you guys in the next video, because I don't know what color thread I'm gonna use. I don't know any of that. Ooh, maybe I find a thread that's like that color, and then it will really pop, and then it would actually show on that going up and down too. Decisions. So I hope you're all doing well. Let me know what you're working on. If you're working on something like this, if you're working on a different project, is anybody working on Christmas projects? I'll tell you, I'm watching the Tim Holtz ideology for the Christmas 2023, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I totally want some of that stuff. And he's, you know, talking about things that they didn't bring back from previous years, and I'm like, oh great, I didn't buy it last year, and now it's not going to be there for me to get it. Like the wallpaper, I really wanted the wallpaper, but I didn't buy it last year, so now he's got this paper pack, and it looks really good. So I think I'm going to get some, and I think I'm going to get the pack of the thing that has the window frames in it because it looks so cool. So hopefully I can get to a store that has the Christmas stuff. We'll see. The more I'm looking at this, the more I am going to do it sideways because I think it looks really cool. And then my stitching will cross over that, so it'll make like a design on the spine. So that's what I'm going to do. And part of that is honestly, I'm hoarding this ticking. So signatures back out again, and then get those on And then, yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me. It has just been so much fun working on this project. I truly am enjoying it. I'm going to get these stitched in. Then I have to go pull the dash mat out of the RV and work on that some more. Oh, lots of things to get accomplished, but it's all good. We'll get it done. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. So I literally just finished sewing these in and I'm really excited and I just wanted to show you. Oh, it looks so cute. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so that really is the end of this video. I'll be back in the next video. I'll get these bases glued on and yeah, it's really coming together. I'm super excited. I did cut my ticking a little bit shy, so I'm gonna have to do something with that to fix it, but that's okay. But this is gonna be a chunky monkey when we're done. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. But I have to go work on that dash mat now because it's like almost lunchtime and I haven't accomplished anything today. Well, other than this, I think it's an accomplishment. So anyway, okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.